I've got a couple of things that I'm going to be saying over the course of the next few weeks that might be a little bit, what's the word? Well, strap on your seatbelt. It's going to be a little bit bumpy. I've been doing a lot of introspecting between certain terminologies and certain wordings. Now, I've decided not to go into the clinical dictionary definitions, and you for yourselves may find other words that are going to describe what it is that I'm saying. But I think the gist of it is that you're going to get a sense of the difference between certain things. So I thought I'd kick off this one and this session talking about the difference between wanting something for somebody and wishing something for somebody. And I think sometimes we get those mixed up. And those two individuals are very different people. The individual that comes and wishes something for you, and the individual that comes and wants something for you. Now, sometimes I have found in my life that I've blended those two people together and assumed the same thing. And as we continue this conversation about these wordings that start being quite micro in terms of separating behaviors or thoughts and feelings of people, I think will give us a clearer distinction of how to approach individuals and maybe sometimes not to expect more than what we're receiving. So here's my sense. Wishing something for somebody. Now, I think we all have a sense of within friendships, within family, within relationships, that whoever it is that we're engaging with, we wish the best for them. We really want them to achieve what it is that they're achieving. And sometimes what we don't do is reflect that back on ourselves in terms of what does that mean for us? And I'll give you some real classical examples of what's happened to me lately. And by the way, this doesn't necessarily even have to apply to people that you know. It's in general. I mean, I think as human beings, we generally have a sense that we wish the best for everybody, right? That's the kind of statement that we make on regular occasions, that, wishing you the best and good luck, those kind of things. And I think what sometimes we don't reflect is what impact that has on us. So lately, I left formal employment 2 years ago. I've been running my own business, and as you know, running your own business is always a difficult thing. In the early phases anyway, it's immensely difficult. And sometimes you go through those processes of review in yourself. And what brings those on for me? Well, scrolling through LinkedIn and seeing people who have just been appointed into positions, or seeing people who have gotten board positions, or seeing people who sometimes, if you're on Instagram, who are going on vacations, etc., etc., etc. And it creates that little incy-wincy pang in me. And it's not so much a pang that I'm not, happy for you. It's more of a pang of the impact that it has on me. And I wanted to reflect on that a little bit more, to say that sometimes these things that, we wish on people, when they get it. I mean, here's the classical story of a friend of yours who's been wanting a particular car, and all of a sudden they receive that car, and you've wished them that they get the car. And when they get the car, there's that little pang because obviously you don't have the car or the house or the holiday or the whatever it is, that somebody that receives something has an emotive reaction to you. And sometimes it can be as simple as just a sense of, minute envy. And sometimes it might be even bigger than that. It might be, a sense of, this complete sense of, I'm trying to find a word that describes it, but a sense of you almost being more than just envious of the person. And I suppose the word is jealous. I think that's the other word. So it's in between those extremes that we kind of sometimes find ourselves, and where we were wishing them well and they've got it, we now have that burning pang within us. And I've gone through a couple of those over a number of things. And then I started looking at this construct of wanting somebody well, right? So that's wishing somebody well, and we get a lot of those from people and individuals, and I'm sure all of us have had those experiences. But then there's wanting somebody well. Now, wanting somebody well is very powerful, and those people are few and far between, and sometimes we lump them together. The person who wants you well celebrates your achievements, celebrates what you've received, celebrates your success, almost as if it's them that have gotten it. You know, they're so joyous around the kind of impact it's had on you, that even it feels like, they've achieved it. It feels like they have gotten it. It feels that whatever it is that they've been wanting for you has been fulfilled, and it's sort of so powerful in them as individuals. And those are few and far between. And sometimes you need to read very carefully in between the lines between people who are wishing you and people who are wanting you. And we are drawn to the people who are wishing you because they tend to be the ones who say it more regularly, who do certain things that might seem like they wanting you well, whereas those who are wanting you well tend to be a little bit behind the scenes and tend to be people who you may not even have the regularity with, but once all of a sudden you are where they imagined you to be, or hoped you to be, or even more powerfully desired you to be, they're extremely happy for you. And I thought I'd just talk about that in Visualize with Vik, because I want you to almost get to the point of using sight and vision as a measure of, for want of a better word, dissecting some of the engagements that you're having to make sure that, is this person wishing me or wanting me? Because sometimes we feel a little bit upset that we thought this person was wishing us well, but all of a sudden, it's not quite the same once I've achieved or gotten or moved forward or progressed or whatever the case may be. And yeah, they were wishing you but not wanting you. And that's okay, because that's their jar. That's what they can give. They can give the jar of wishing, but they're not necessarily the people who were wanting you well. And I think there are lots of stories of people who've either, where, in their single days got married and all of a sudden friends disappeared, or in their, and they came to the wedding, for crying out loud, right? And people who've achieved, professionally, financially, and a few people just sort of started falling off the bandwagon as a consequence of what seemed to have been your elevation. And I'm at peace now with the understanding that there is a distinction between these two. There is an understanding that I can look at somebody now and go, is this wishing or wanting? And if it's wishing, it's fine, it's great. And understand that once that which I wish and is achieved, there may be collateral damage. And then I also do not underemphasize those who are wanting you well. And just to even be more touchy about this, look at it within the family context, within siblings, within, cousins, within where you would assume everybody's wanting, you might find that they're only wishing. So, hope that enables you to visualize a little bit more deeply about yourself and your surroundings. And certainly we can have this conversation some more around the different aspects of it. But if you love this, please register and subscribe, and make sure you click onto the notification button so that it gives you an update of when I'm posting these, because I've got a few more of these that I want to be talking about with regards to the context of the difference of words. The other one that I'm going to be talking about soon is the difference between being committed and being involved. Woo! Is there a difference between those two? See you soon.